It's early 1942. Pearl Harbor is still burning in America's memory. The United States has been in the war for barely a few months, and already the situation in the Atlantic is spiraling into catastrophe. The German U-boat wolfpacks are hunting Allied shipping with terrifying efficiency. Entire convoys vanish overnight. Tankers erupt into fireballs within sight of the American coastline. Every week, hundreds of thousands of tons of supplies meant for Britain sink beneath the Atlantic. And right when America needs warships the most, the U.S. Navy realizes it simply doesn't have enough. What the Navy desperately requires are small, fast, cheap submarine killers, ships that can be mass-produced in civilian yards and thrown into the convoy lanes as quickly as possible. So the solution seems simple. Design a compact escort with diesel engines, modest guns, and long endurance. Thus the Evarts-class Destroyer Escort is born on paper. But the moment the keels hit the slipways, the entire plan explodes in their faces. The diesel engines these ships were supposed to use? Gone. Every single one is now being diverted to the rapidly expanding submarine fleet. A single Evarts would need 4 to 8 diesels, enough power to complete 2 whole fleet submarines. And the U.S. submarine program was not negotiable. Without new submarines, America couldn't strike Japan. So overnight, Destroyer Escort construction is paralyzed. Steel hulls sit unfinished. Blueprints become useless. And U-boats keep sinking ships. Forced into a corner, the Navy's designers make a bold, almost reckless decision. Tear up the plans, start over, and find a propulsion system that doesn't rely on diesel engines at all. Their eyes turn to something unusual: turboelectric drive. Instead of turning the propellers with gears, huge steam turbines spin electrical generators, which feed massive electric motors directly linked to the propeller shafts. It's weird. It's experimental. But America has warehouses full of unused turbines and electrical equipment thanks to cancelled battleships and modified carriers. Suddenly, a crisis becomes an opportunity. The redesigned hull grows slightly longer and nearly 300 tons heavier, but the results are staggering. The new ship, the Buckley-class Destroyer Escort, can now hit 24 knots in normal service. Some even touch 26 knots when pushed to their limits. What was supposed to be a slow escort has become a fast, aggressive sub-hunter. Armament remains lethal. 3 3-inch 50 caliber guns give solid surface firepower. 2 forward, 1 aft, perfect for shredding U-boat conning towers. The bow carries the terrifying Hedgehog spigot mortar, capable of launching 24 contact fuse bombs in a tight pattern far ahead of the ship. Depth charge racks and K-guns line the stern. And thanks to the extra hull length, designers mount a triple set of 21-inch torpedo tubes amidships, giving the Buckleys the ability to threaten destroyers and even surface raiders. Their anti-aircraft batteries evolve constantly. Early ships carry a handful of 20mm Oerlikons, but by mid-war many Buckleys mount 10 or more, backed by twin 40mm Bofors that turn them into floating flak traps. The British versions, the Captain-class frigates, become even more heavily armed, bristling with Bofors and packed with radar and HF/DF equipment. Every Buckley sails with advanced sonar, radar, and direction-finding gear that makes them true hunter-killer platforms. 154 Buckleys are ordered. 148 are completed. 46 immediately cross the Atlantic to serve in the Royal Navy, where they become the backbone of escort groups in the most dangerous waters on Earth. These ships fight like lions. They duel U-boats at knife range in nighttime surface battles. They ram submarines. They hunt wolf packs with absolute ruthlessness. Only 6 Buckleys, 4 American, 2 British, are lost in combat, but dozens more survive horrific torpedo hits, kamikaze strikes, and mine blasts and still limp home. Their crews swear these little ships are built of iron and luck. And their kill count is staggering. Buckleys rack up a long list of U-boats destroyed in the Atlantic and the Channel, sometimes coordinating with aircraft, sometimes striking alone. They even take on larger ships, German raiders and heavily armed escorts, and come out on top. All from a class that wasn't supposed to exist at all. When the war shifts toward the Pacific, the Navy needs fast, nimble transports for raiders and underwater demolition teams, precursors to the Navy SEALs. So more than 30 Buckleys are converted into APDs, fast transports capable of slipping Marines onto hostile beaches. They deliver frogmen and raider teams to Saipan, Tinian, Palau, Letta, and dozens of islands across the Pacific. They become some of the most heavily worked ships of the closing years of the war. After 1945, the Buckley story still isn't over. Most are mothballed, but others find new life around the world. South Korea, Taiwan, the Philippines, Chile, Mexico, Peru, Colombia, and Ecuador operate Buckleys for decades. Some serve into the 1980s. A few hang on into the 1990s. And unbelievably, 2 reach the early 2000s. For ships built in desperation, their longevity borders on legendary. The last U.S. Navy Buckley is scrapped in 1973. But their legacy, from the icy killing grounds of the North Atlantic to the beaches of the Pacific Islands, refuses to fade. So next time someone calls Destroyer Escorts second-rate warships, remember the Buckley-class, born from crisis, built in chaos, and transformed into one of the most successful, most widespread, and longest-serving escort classes of the entire 20th century. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the forgotten heroes of World War II, hit that like button, drop a comment with which ship or class you want next, and don't forget to answer the pinned drydock question for a shout-out in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.